Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife and Sportfish Restoration Program. Through your purchases of hunting and fishing equipment and motorboat fuels, over $40 million in conservation efforts are funded in Texas each year. And by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, helping to keep Texas wild with the support of proud members across the state. Find out more at tpwf.org. Additional funding provided by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
They're a true icon of the southwestern desert. I think one of the most beautiful quail in the United States.
We have a lot of visitors come to this park, and the reason they come here is for this fresh, clean water.
In 1988, we headed south to the valley to see how winter Texans make an RV their home on the road.
Because they're here for a longer period of time, we actually get the chance to really become quite good friends with them.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, taking Texans outside for 30 years.
Along a lonesome stretch of highway on the furthest fringe of Big Bend country, Bonnie McKinney and Robert Pettis are out to capture some birds.
Maybe a little early. And there's one right over there and one right there. There's tons of tracks. We've been trapping birds at Candelaria, Texas.
There's one right there.
The birds they are after are Gambel's quail, a species found across the desert Southwest.
Once you get into New Mexico and Arizona, the species becomes much more common, but in our state, it's very limited.
The goal is to reestablish these birds further east, where they were once also found. While Gambel's have fared better than some, every quail species in the state has lost some ground.
There are 4 species of quail in Texas: the Montezuma quail, the Gambel's quail, the scaled quail, also called a blue quail, and the bobwhite. Certainly the most popular and well-known species is the bobwhite quail.
But the iconic bobwhite is in trouble.
Over the past 20, 30 years, we've seen serious declines across its entire range, including Texas. Fundamentally, conservationists agree that the root cause is changes in the quality and quantity of habitat.
Interest in restoring this vanishing native habitat has brought conservation groups and private landowners together at the Atwater's Prairie Chicken National Wildlife Refuge.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm Robert. It's really exciting to see this group of folks and private landowners just come together for a common cause. Both of these birds, as well as other grassland bird species, require this prairie habitat.
Prairie grasses provide shelter, seeds, and insects for birds, but that's not all.
Well, this is a sample of native grass. This plant contributes to the health of the land. This is the way you conserve moisture. Man's come in and ripped out a lot of this grass, this native grass, and planted what we call improved grasses, which is really not improved. They're invasive species like Bermuda grass, Bahia grass, and they don't give back to the soil. They take from the soil.
To restore native grasses where they have been lost, seed is harvested from a tall grass prairie at the Atwater's Refuge.
Well, obviously the best seed to have is to have local ecotypes, because if it grows here, it's going to grow down the road. Out here, it's a little blue stem. It's your target plant. We found out that we couldn't do it alone. To have more birds, you had to have connectivity. You had to have one ranch attached another to another. And now we're working with landowners that represent around 30,000 acres in about 10 counties.
We know from years and years of research, and it's a very well-researched bird, we know that habitat's the key.
And as habitat is improved through native grass seeding as well as managed grazing and prescribed fire, not just bobwhite benefit.
In general, grassland birds in North America have been declining over the past 50 years or so, and it's because of loss of large-scale habitat and big landscapes. We can produce quail. We can produce habitat that makes more birds. We just need more of it.
In South Texas brush country, a different kind of quail needs some habitat help. The scaled or blue quail.
Scaled quail have declined at about 5% per year in South Texas for the last 20 years.
Researchers from Texas A&M Kingsville are on the case.
Habitat's looking pretty good here. We've been doing a general scaled quail ecology study on 5 different ranches.
Looking much better.
And the landowners have graciously allowed us access to their properties to put radio transmitters on birds and allow our graduate students to follow them and collect the data that they need.
There is a lot to learn about this South Texas subspecies.
We don't have really any good idea of survival and general nest success, all these general ecology type questions.
A lot of this is fairly new, what we're finding with this research. Here in South Texas, they're liking the thicker brush. Watch that kick. The rate it's being lost. It's going to be really important in the future that we understand what happens when we attempt to restore the habitat to the way it was before the declines.
What is already understood is that large areas of rangeland which once held scaled quail have been transformed to monocultures.
Wow. Yep. This is buffalo grass.
Such grass might be good for cattle grazing, but for quail, it's a problem.
Quail can't walk through this.
This is a pretty extensive barrier, it appears.
So, part of the research on this ranch is temporarily turning this into this. With exotic grass removed, it will be reseeded.
We'll be planting a very diverse mix of native grasses and forbs.
Further research will measure quail response to the restored habitat.
Beautiful bird. I think they're a symbol of unspoiled native habitat.
Another beautiful bird, the Montezuma quail, once ranged across the Texas Hill Country and Trans-Pecos. In the state today, it is limited to some western mountains and only the southwest edge of the Edwards Plateau.
When we first bought property here back in 2000, one of the things I noticed was that we had Montezuma quail here. A kind of a relic population here in the hill country. Started talking to some of my neighbors about the fact that we had the birds and what we could do habitat-wise to possibly improve things for the birds.
The Hefts and their neighbors work together to improve wildlife habitat on their individual properties.
Same scenario, big ranch broke up, smaller places, people were moving seed or doing things 100 acre, 200 acre parcel at a time, and people seeing and hearing these birds.
First Montezuma we saw in the place went right under this bush, and they just froze. And I didn't know what they were.
We've done some prescribed burning to try to help the grass cover come back, and a lot of the thick cedar areas cleared the junipers. The birds very much select for that habitat on the left that's been cleared and not for that closed canopy cedar break you see on the right. The birds, preferring areas that have good grass cover. We've had birds nesting right here around the house.
Really has done a great job with this piece of property here. This will be point number 1 that we'll sample here. What we're going to do...
Call surveys and further study by Texas Parks and Wildlife and A&M Kingsville will determine if habitat work is increasing Montezuma numbers, but anecdotal evidence looks promising.
We really like to see them because, of course, knowing you're dealing with a species that's been so reduced in range and numbers, hopefully together we can kind of help them to recover over some more of their historic habitat.
Back in the Big Bend,
there's a bunch over there too. There's a trap full.
Gamble's quail are taking the bait.
The trapping's going very well.
Biologists work quickly to collect the birds.
3. Once the birds come in the trap, you don't want to leave them there too long.
All right, 14. Not a bad start.
You're checking traps, you're taking birds out, you're resetting the trap. You've got to be actively driving up and down the road, checking traps on the fly.
Here's one.
The team gathers the birds and collects data about each quail, fitting them with identifying leg bands.
I love these birds. You're the most talkative.
Bonnie McKinney works on the land where these birds will be restored and originally proposed this cooperative project.
I'm the wildlife coordinator at the Adams Ranch, which is actually called El Carmen Land and Conservation Company. We were really wanting to bring the Gamble quail back. Historically, they were found 10 miles up the road at the Black Gap.
Both location and extensive habitat improvement have made El Carmen an ideal reintroduction site.
Through the work that we've done landscape-wise, opening up the floodplain, preventing the erosion, putting in waters for wildlife, created some very good Gamble's quail habitat. 88 birds.
So, with a suitable home awaiting
That's a lot of birds.
and a full load on hand, it's time to hit the road.
They're kept in the transport cages overnight, and then the following morning, they're released into the new habitat at El Carmen.
As soon as they're in place and given an opening, the birds eagerly return to their former range.
Everybody flew strong. That's great. No injuries, no mortalities. So that's wonderful.
And there's more good news. After 2 seasons, the birds are raising chicks.
Knowing that we're working on a project that's helping bolster population of the Gamble's quail, it's exciting.
There is much yet to be done to improve the state of quail in Texas, but there is also hope for a brighter future.
We've seen the results. In some of these areas where we're doing this work, we're hearing them in areas where we haven't heard them.
One thing is already clear. The state of quail depends on the state of their native habitat, and improving that will depend on people working together.
Our birds have to have places to go. We're losing habitat every day. And by linking these properties up, I think we can make a big difference.
Unfortunately, quail don't have any say-so in the matter. And it's going to be up to us to take care of those who can't take care of themselves.
This project was funded in part by Wildlife Restoration Funds.
It was 30 years ago that the Texas Parks and Wildlife television series, originally known as Made in Texas, got its start. To celebrate this milestone, we're taking a look back at some of the interesting stories and unique characters that we've discovered over the past 3 decades. In 1988, we headed south to the Valley to see how winter Texans make an RV their home on the road.
As far as I'm concerned, it's the only way to travel.
I don't think there's any particular character of an individual that makes them attractive to an RV.
It does facilitate your being able to get out in nature. My husband's addicted to fishing. We're both avid bird watchers, gabbers. We love to visit with people. You can do this, you know, with the comfort.
I got everything I need right here.
A land of endless highways and diverse geographical beauty, the Lone Star State is filled with RV campers. These fun-loving individuals get a view of the state motel-bound tourists might miss.
I think it's the lifestyle that we talked about more so than the products themselves. They all basically offer the same thing: to get away from the house, get away from a telephone, to get out with your friends and people in the campgrounds and sit around a campfire and roast weenies, or the different activities that go around there. It's just a real peaceful, enjoyable time to get out and kind of kick back.
Nearly 25% of all RV owners belong to at least one national camping club, and the Good Sam's take the cake as the largest RV club in the country.
In a chapter such as this, everybody likes everybody, and they look forward to getting together that one weekend a month, and they look forward to seeing one another. We're like one big happy family. We enjoy it.
But the Good Sam's aren't all food and jokes. Taking their name from the biblical philanthropist, the Good Samaritan, the Dillo Sams contribute their time as well as their money to a wide range of causes. When the going gets rough, RV campers get going. In 1986, members of the National Campers and Hikers Association convened at Meridian State Recreation Area to help Texas Parks and Wildlife Department repair trails and refurbish shelters. This project was not the National Campers and Hikers' first effort. Like the Good Sam's, the group shares a commitment to giving something back to the community and parks they enjoy.
It's something that you can come back in the years to come and see the accomplishments you've done.
The willingness to help out, along with a spirit of adventure, weaves tightly through the fabric of American society. The urge to take their home on the road grew up with America's love affair with the automobile. As soon as Henry Ford's Model T became mass-produced, adventurous car owners began experimenting with taking their homes on the road. As the American home has become more luxurious, so has the RV camper's home on the road. Comfort, safety, and a bit of luxury are central to their demands. But it's the people and not the rigs that make RV camping so compelling.
Well, they've worked all their lives and been tied down. You know, that's just one of their life ambitions that they've worked hard and saved up for, and they want to see the country.
Retirees form one of the most vital constituencies of RV campers. Freed from career and family pressures, they take their homes away from home on the road for much of the year.
I can't wait to get on the road again.
We're from Minnesota, and it's kind of icy and cold up there, and we're like the birds when they start to flock and get ready to come down here. Well, we think we should be here too.
I can't wait to get on the road again.
As Arctic winds scour the plains, Midwesterners, Northerners, and Canadians head south to Texas part of the Sun Belt, the Rio Grande Valley, and Texas coastal area.
Well, up to now, the Rio Grande Valley of Texas has been one of the best kept secrets in the United States. We have just about everything that Florida and California and Arizona, which are our competitors in the Sun Belt, have. What we don't have is congestion, high prices, and people that don't want us to be here.
Absolutely, Texans are marvelous. They're so friendly. And we have tried Florida many years, and they're not nearly as happy to see the snowbirds as we're called there.
Really, everybody says that this place is a lot more friendly than anywhere else in the nation.
Throughout the Rio Grande Valley and coastal area, state parks and private campgrounds welcome winter tourists. Situated on Aransas Bay, Goose Island State Recreation Area offers a bewitching blend of bay scenery and wind-sculpted live oaks. But to many visitors, Goose Island means fishing. Goose Island features RV campsites on the bay front and tucked under the trees. The privacy these sites afford brings winter Texans back year after year.
One of the things that we really enjoy about this time of the year is the relationship we're able to develop with the campers. Because they're here for a longer period of time, we actually get the chance to really become quite good friends with them.
Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky, stormy weather.
If you don't like the weather in Texas, just wait a minute. It'll change soon. The Texas coast isn't always bright and sunny, although compared to Midwestern winters, it still looks pretty good.
It takes away a lot of the frustrations that people have in their life.
It's about 6 feet, it looks like.
Benson Rio Grande Valley State Park is to birding what Mustang Island is to beach lovers, a Texas mecca. The abundance and accessibility of birds at Benson allows novices to get their first taste of a new hobby.
Oh, yeah.
Touring in a recreational vehicle helps people discover the beauty of natural Texas, as well as the spirit of its people. But RV camping is more than a way to vacation. It's a lifestyle that provides a four-wheeled fountain of youth, a means for maintaining vitality.
You'll find that the people in RVs and just general camping people are alive.
Just being active and energetic and interested in many things is what really keeps people young, I think.
For more information about Texas state parks, call toll-free in Texas 1-800-792-1112.
This series is funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife and Sport Fish Restoration Program. Through your purchases of hunting and fishing equipment and motorboat fuels, over $40 million in conservation efforts are funded in Texas each year. And by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, helping to keep Texas wild with the support of proud members across the state. Find out more at tpwf.org. Additional funding provided by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.